Welcome, nerds, to this episode of Real Nerdy. This is going to be our bi weekly conversation where we talk about films, talk about movies, TV shows, everything a nerd likes to talk about, you know. Tonight I am being co hosted with AJ. He's gracing our presence. Say hello.
Greetings.
And everyone's favorite, Crunchy.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
So, just for everyone at home, this episode we're going to be discussing tonight is all about WandaVision. We're going to just get a little bit on topic with what's been going on with the Marvel Cinematic Universe as it relates to the films and the TV shows, and a little bit about the Falcon Winter Soldier upcoming events. So, just so you are warned, this is 100% spoiler territory. Everything that has aired will be discussed, or it is open game to be discussed. So whenever you hear the fact that died, don't come crying to me because you've been warned.
That's like 2 years old. They should know that by
You're
now, right?
Okay, maybe I won't bleep it. Maybe I will. Yeah, maybe I'll leave it a mystery.
You can keep that. Yeah.
So
maybe he's Bruce clone.
Oh, you know he ain't dead. Nobody stays dead in the Marvel Universe. So WandaVision has been a wrap. It's over. We've let it marinate. It's over a week now. So basically everything we're going to discuss here is going to be about the whole show as it was, not just one episode, all of it. So firstly, I wanted to bring up how much I appreciated the fact that they actually set it up to be a weekly appearance instead of just like Netflix throwing it all out there at one time and you binge watch it over a weekend and then 3 weeks later no one's talking about it. This kept the story going and kept everyone talking about it and theorizing about it the entire time, whether for good or for ill. It was a smart decision in my first humble opinion. What do you guys think? Did you like the weekly appearances?
I did, simply for the fact that like it's a limited mini series, right? Is what they sold it as. So they extended the livelihood and the impact that it gave to the cinematic universe around it simply by extending the amount of time to be about it, right? It's like what they did with The Mandalorian, so well that it eventually overtook The Witcher, which is
a big feat because
on Netflix.
Yeah, because now when I binged the Witcher in I think in 3 days. I sat down. I just kept going back to it. Kept going back. It's like that really awesome meal you make and you keep going back for the leftovers, you know, and you eat it and it's gone, and the next time you go in to eat something, it's gone. It's not there anymore, and you kind of miss it. Yep. It was kind of like that.
Yeah.
Which The Witcher season 2 is in development. Henry Cavill is in filming right now. They had a COVID scare, but it's over now. They're back in filming, and there's also the prequel series, which we can discuss at a different time. But I agree how it overtook. It was very how it overtook the Witcher. It was pretty awesome. But it keeps you talking about it. You know, it keeps the discussion alive. It keeps the body warm, as it was, and it's. Everyone wanted it to be all at one time, or longer, run times. So I personally like the 9-episode arc. It's not too many. It's not too few. I was kind of hoping for more time in each episode. I personally think that a 35 to 45 minute arc is okay, but as soon as it starts getting going, bam, it's the credits and Wanda. You guys making WandaVision, can we shorten the credits a little bit? The credits was like a third of the freaking time run. Come on. And you're sitting there watching it, waiting for that mid-credit scene to happen, and it only happened 3 times. AJ, what's your take on it, AJ? What do you think about the?
Oh, I definitely agree that it was a smart thing to do with the weeklies, because me personally, I'm getting sick of binge watching shows and then not taking it in the actual quality that they're made with, and it's like you said, like you enjoy this fantastic meal, but then you forget it like in a short amount of span of time. Whereas like a weekly release, it gave a reason for me and my family and friends to like gather on a TV again, watch an episode, we discuss it, you know, we bond over it, and I miss those, that kind of experience, which WandaVision was definitely giving it to it. Which also makes sense because like the TV shows that the episodes were like parodying, they weren't made like released all at once. They were
No.
all weekly shows.
Binge watching didn't exist back. I mean, syndication happened with them. They later on, but it was it's the water cooler mentality. You watch the show and then you go to work or school or wherever, and you're like, oh God, did you see the episode? No, I haven't seen it. No spoilers. I was like, oh well, here it comes. It's like, but I really enjoyed it.
John Hamm actually talks about this. He plays Don Draper in Mad Men, released in like 2008, ended in 2013. He said that the rise of binging on Netflix, in a podcast with a guy named Sam Smith like a few years ago, he said that the rise of binging essentially killed old television and killed that mentality. And to see Disney at least trying with their bigger series to bring that back, gives me a lot more hope for like the weekly like set releases back that environment for television, because it changes the details that you notice, it changes how you watch, it changes how you talk about it, it changes the impact the series has as a whole. And I'm very glad to see WandaVision and Mandalorian and hopefully Captain America and the Winter Soldier doing that now, or Falcon and the Winter Soldier doing that now, because
Captain
that's going to be
America and the Winter Soldier.
just
That's
even
a good
more
movie.
Shut up.
I think it's also like I think it's also like the health benefit of like not just sitting in front of a screen all day, just watching episode after episode after episode, which there's data proving that binge watching is detrimental to one's health.
It also
you don't have to tell me. I can feel my brain rotting. Come on.
One of the things that the aspect of having it as the runtime and with the weekly releases, all this stuff, it also gave you time to talk about it. That was the big deal. It's like the talking about it. And what are you going to do when you talk about something like this? You're going to theorize. How many of you?
Theory crafting.
Both.
Yes, sir.
You both have theories. I know you both did because I had them myself. Every single episode, you were like, "Oh my god, dude! Oh my god, dude! Did you see the thing?" I mean, every time, it never fails. Every time I watch an episode, I would want to talk about the stuff, the thing, the big deal, the reveal. What are your favorite? AJ, give me your favorite theory that came from all of WandaVision. And I remember all of it's up for grabs.
So one theory that I personally came up with, because of how Marvel sets up all their stuff, how like their movies, they're like, oh, we told a story, but we're now going to have a setup. Like in Iron Man 2, they were setting up War Machine, they were setting up Black Widow, and the Avengers and all that stuff. I thought that, hey, because every episode takes place in a different time period, are they going to have sneak peeks, references, or cameos of various Marvel characters from that era? Like if it was the 50s, like is it going to be a 50s character, like who made their debut? If it was the 70s, like, ooh, are we going to see like a 70s version of a character? And with the whole like Wanda having the ability to open up, portals to like other worlds and whatnot, can we see like other characters, come in? We saw the one with Quicksilver and stuff, so that gave me plenty of time. I was like, ooh, like what if like the Sentry from the like this, like he's not from the 70s, but they treat him like he's from the 70s. Like what if he appeared? Or what if like I don't know, like
you're talking like Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is from the 1920s, and he gets pulled forward to 2018.
I was even expecting
that's a pretty cool theory.
I was even expecting something like the kids on TV, right? Like you turn on the TV, and it turns out like they watching a '70s Marvel TV show, like Spider-Man.
I
is
was waiting
Amazing
on
Friends.
that. I was waiting on them when they were actually in the era of the '90s. I was waiting for the kids to be turning on the TV and they watched the '90s cartoon for Spider-Man or the one for the X-Men. If they would have done the X-Men cartoon on that television, I would have lost
Oh
my
man.
nerd shit.
Oh,
I
it was,
swear.
yep.
But they did some kind of Teletubbies thing instead. It was like, whatever.
Hey,
Um,
you don't disrespect Yo Gabba Gabba in this place. You don't get to disrespect Yo Gabba Gabba. I'll fuck you up.
after my time,
No,
thank you.
no, but could you imagine if they showed the '90s Spider-Man cartoon and the scene had a Hobgoblin who was voiced by Mark Hamill in that cartoon?
Yeah.
Like they got like a double
That would
whammy
be crazy.
reference.
That would be
Like
crazy.
how crazy like would that have been? Or if they want to go the extra mile, they have a Spider-Man, not an actual episode of Spider-Man of the '90s Spider-Man cartoon, but like they have like a brand new scene as if it was from the '90s Spider-Man cartoon, and Spider-Man is voiced by either Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire.
See, okay,
Oh,
now, right there. See, you just touched
Okay,
on something
we're
else.
just coming up with crap. We're just coming up with
I want
crap.
to touch on something. We're talking about theories. One of the theories that I had, because you keep on hearing things about the different movies that are coming out, Spider-Man and all this other stuff, like the Spider-Verse is supposed to be an actual thing that's happening. There's this big deal about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are actually going to be a part of the new Spider-Man 3 movie. It's like I thought that was like a misdirect for the Spider-Man 3, and actually they were going to be part of this. And you were going to see something like them make an appearance, or they would be like a swap out, or it would be like on the TV show, the kids were watching Spider-Man 3, and of course they would have to mention about how much it sucks.
Oh God! And then
It was like a
Tobey
TV version of
Maguire
a
walks
character
up
that actually
delivering
exists
it.
in their universe, but Hollywood took the took the real character and made a movie version of it, and it was Tobey Maguire playing the part.
No, like
If we're,
I know in the comics, like both DC and Marvel, they have moments where like the superheroes of either universe actually have merchandise, television shows, whatever made of it, and the
Yeah.
actual characters would be like, "The show is terrible. Like this is
Yeah.
nothing like how they are." And
Well,
the
yeah,
television
right.
is like, so like their older version, like Batman would see like the '66 show and be like, oh my god, like they did not get me right at all.
They never get the ears right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Speaking on theory crafting and alternate reality people, I'm gonna be the first to admit I was completely bamboozled by Pietro not being Pietro. Completely
you know what?
dumbfounded. I was
Them
like,
setting that entire thing.
that. Maybe she brought him in. That they
Yeah.
they
Did-
got
it's
me.
like,
They
did
got
she?
me so
Didn't
hard.
she? If she
Was-
didn't, who did?
But
What's going
but
on?
I do have another theory that some people think, right? The guy that was Pietro was just a normal dude.
Was
No.
he?
I think, and a lot of people think, he was the CIA operative that Jimmy Woo was
The
supposed to
missing
meet.
person that he was there to find.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Right? Because why would you have just an actor profile, right?
Right.
Just laying in your house, right? There's like a few things that point to it. Like
It was like he was trying to learn his character himself. And I think he was
Exactly.
I think he was the actual witness, the missing person witness, and it was him. And he's honestly, I think he was a big goof of a guy. Listen, Marvel is huge on their Mr. X, huge. What was it? Infinity War. You had all the trailers for it coming up. You had Hulk. Hulk was in the trailer, fighting in the big fight. No Hulk. No Hulk in that in the latter half of that movie. They replaced the Hulk with the Hulk Buster, the Hulk Buster with the Hulk, making one thing. The Civil War. They teased the Black Panther, but nobody knew until it was time that Spider-Man was there. The scenes that they showed of everyone getting down, and then the running together in the splash scene. Spider-Man was in every single one of them. What did they do? They cut him out and they squeezed them together. They made that little bitty of that little spot right there. He wasn't there, but you see it now whenever you go back and watch the trailers. It's like they're huge for the Mr. X, and I got to give them credit. Their Mr. X are getting so meta, so meta. I honestly believe that the fact that they know that we're going to theorize and we're going to pick it apart and we're going to come up with all these ideas and we're going to see these things, they're using it against us. I guarantee you that's what they were doing in this show intentionally. The whole the naming her Agnes. One episode, you name her Agnes, you give her the brooch. One episode, that's how long it took for somebody to say, wait, that's Agatha Harkness. She's magic. Oh, blah, blah. It's, that just put it together. It's so simple. And then Pietro shows up. Is this X-Men? Are they going to have the crossover? Is this how the X-Men get in here? Did she just create a portal to the X-Men? Oh my God. And it's like, no, his name is Boner.
It's the perfect series to test drive. It's the test.
Yeah.
It's the perfect series to test drive it, right? Because you have a main protagonist in a created world that they have the power to manipulate in any way whatsoever. That is the perfect way to create those Mr. X, by intentionally doing something that the character might feasibly do, right? Especially when they've already introduced the whole multiverse theory, right?
Right.
Like
Well, they introduced the concept
Doctor
of the
Strange.
multiverse theory, but technically, have they introduced the multiverse? Because I don't believe they have.
You need to go back and watch Doctor Strange. He covers it.
Okay. Give me a taste of it. What am I looking for?
A lot of stuff when he does the time stone, and then the books that he's reading.
Okay, so you're referring to alternate timelines, not alternate realities. I'm asking. I'm not stating it, because the next Doctor Strange movie is into the multiverse of madness. So we know the multiverse is going to be a thing, but in Spider-Man: Far From Home, they like the snap, it opened up the rift between worlds, and I'm from this Earth and all this blah blah blah. It's like, no, he wasn't. He was mad at Tony Stark. That's who he was. He was here this whole time. He made it up.
Yep.
It was a misdirect, because they made it they put that in a trailer, by the way, about the multiverse, and that's where the elementals came from, which I was really actually kind of mad when I found out it wasn't the elementals anymore. I was like, are you kidding me? A hologram? Really? I was actually genuinely mad. That was the first time I was disappointed in the Spider-Man movies from Marvel and Sony, the new one. But you have the theories going on. It's like Monica Rambeau and her mentioning is like, I know this aerospace engineer. They really get behind this. Everyone just fucking blew up. It was like, oh my God, Fantastic Four, we're gonna get Reed Richards. It's gonna be somebody help me out. What's his name from The Office? Jim.
It's John Krasinski.
John Krasinski. Yeah, everyone was, because he's supposed to be cast as Reed's, and he's supposed to Reed Richards. He's supposed to be the Mr. Fantastic, and supposedly his wife is supposed to be the Invisible Woman, Emily Blunt, and there was the theory was that when she mentioned that aerospace 2 episodes away, everyone was just like, oh, it's got to be him. He's going to be there. They're going to get there. They're going to get out of the car. They're going to pan up. It's going to be him. Everyone's going to go crazy. Fantastic Four is in the Marvel. No. Who was it? It was some colonel in the Air Force. That's it. She didn't even have a name. It was just like, I'm here. Here's your stuff. Oh, by the way, it didn't work. Why? Because, I don't know, time fell. But the moving straight along, it's like the theories are working against us. It's like it's completely meta. I love the fact that they did that, to be honest with you. They're just playing with us. Put Pietro in there, but it's not really him. It's not really fake him either, and it's not him from another verse. Is Wanda covering them all? Who are the kids? Are the kids part of Nightmare? Are they part of Nightmare? It was like back and forth. It was like, so many theories. Oh my god, we could talk nothing but theories for like hours easily.
Oh yeah.
But equally impressive to the meta theory thing is how they filmed this show. Did you guys know?
You talking
that-
about how they like use the different equipment?
Yeah, yeah.
That's just that's crazy to me.
It
I
was.
couldn't
They used
imagine
equipment
that.
of the era
Mhm.
that
That's
the
so
story.
insane.
And
I know
they had
they
the
have a
crew
huge
dress up
budget.
from the time frame. I even read that they had the audience dressed like people from that era, and they had all the effects were in camera effects, like the era that they had for like the very first one, where they had the stuff floating and everything. If you look closely, it looks just like they were just like hanging from strings. They made the
Oh, they
effect.
were.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
it
was.
definitely it must
Yeah,
have, dude.
I mean, it
Oh
was
my
like
god, there's no way.
the little details that they threw in there. I love. Now,
Yeah.
it's you go back and watch it after the fact. You see some subtleties in there with like in the first episode. You guys remember the scene where they're eating dinner and the guy starts choking, and that woman's like, "Stop it! Stop it! Stop!" over and over again. If you
Yeah.
notice, she's not having like a glitch moment. She's begging Wanda to stop it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't pick up on that at first. I didn't pick up on that until I started realizing exactly what's going on in the show, what they did with her. Which brings me to my next point. Do you think Wanda is the villain? And should she be held accountable for her actions?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Under no
Yeah.
context is she even close to innocent, right?
Right.
Discussing the morality of like a fictional universe under this kind of it's kind of weird. But then you think about it, right? In the episode, the lady that gets her powers and is there for like an episode, then gets kicked back out, then goes back in, who's like one of those
Monica
special
Rambeau,
yeah,
which is
Rambo. She's like they'll never know what you gave up for this.
oh
But
god,
then but then
I
but then
hated that
like
line.
she created those, right? And they weren't even in my opinion, right? They displayed levels of intelligence, right? But
Yeah.
were they really sentient beings?
There's a theory behind that
Right?
actually.
That's
There-
yeah. I'm pretty sure that like the multiverse is going to touch on that, and I can't wait to see that. But at
Mhm.
the same time, when you create something, that's your responsibility. But to alter hundreds or wasn't it like over 1,000 people lived in that town?
Yeah, I think
It
it
was
was
a
like
large
yeah,
it was like
it was like
1,700
1,000
people,
people.
if I remember the sign correctly.
Yeah, and what's even more brutal than just forcing people to do different day-to-day tasks and have different names and memories and stuff is what she did to the kids. That's almost unforgivable. That's solitary
Oh god,
confinement. The
you're
for what,
talking
how
about
long did
when
the how
you're talking
long
about
did
when
the show?
Dottie showed
Yeah,
up towards
yeah.
the end
She
when
could
Dottie
only
showed
stay in
up.
a
Yeah,
room. Yeah,
yeah,
they could only
and
stay in their room for months and months at a time. That must have been
well, the
not
just
and
just
not
for
even
the
being in control of your own mind.
just for the record, the entirety of the show takes place in 1 week. Everything took place in 1 week.
It takes place in 1 week.
It takes place in just over one actual physical week because there's several times towards the end when Darcy mentions that it's like, I've been watching you for an entire week and I secretly wanted to be in here, but not like this, you know. It's like
Well,
she was there from the beginning.
how long were they doing that? Was she doing the 50s thing before she
Well,
started updating the show?
well,
That's what I
see,
want to know.
that's the thing. That's one of the things on a rewatch. What I was noticing was that we were watching it and they were watching it. It was a simultane line, and then they got to her like episode, was it 4 or 5? And
Was it
they
no? It was modern times and they scrapped it.
well, no,
Right?
I'm talking about like hold on, I have actually. It was episode 3, whenever they actually introduced the outside at that point. So episode 4, it didn't have a sitcom era. It was basically like let's dial this back. Took you all the way back to the unsnapping. I'm not gonna call it the blip. You can kiss my butt, Kevin Feige. I'm not doing it. When the snap got reversed, Monica comes back and has to be, and then it's her. Then 6 weeks later, it's after the snap and the fight with Thanos and everything. So the time frame for all of that before Monica got sent to there for that moment, for that time, was basically like 2 or 3 days, maybe. I think, I don't know, because Jimmy Woo, he wouldn't have been there standing there with those cops for long, not that long. He met her there and stuff, and probably maybe a day, and then from that point forward, it was 1 week. Let's call 7-8 days.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
So 1 week. No, go ahead, AJ.
No, Crunchy. I was gonna say, there. I got two things to say, but the first thing, like, ironically, there is. I know one example that actually backs your claim that Wanda was a villain in this case, and it's ironically from DC.
Oh, really?
There was an episode of the 2000 Justice League cartoon show where 4 members of the Justice League get sent to this alternate universe where it's always the golden age of comics, like, come to life. It's the 30s and 40s.
Oh, I know it. I know the one you're talking about. Keep going.
Yeah, and it's revealed that the kid of the Justice of the Justice Guild, which is like essentially their reference to the Justice Society of America, he was the guy controlling. He was like Wanda. He was the one using his powers to control and making everyone pretend like it's the 30s and 40s, as well as recreating his heroes.
Right.
And when the Justice League defeated him, all that went away, and the real people are like, "Thank you, Justice League. You gave us back our lives."
Yeah.
So that cartoon proves your point that Wanda was a villain.
My point was proven in the Halloween episode. Whenever she's talking to fake Pietro, whenever she was talking to him, which was, I believe, around episode 5, if I'm not mistaken. But whenever she was talking to him and they were sitting there around the Halloween get together, and he was like, "Oh, I get it. If I could bring back somebody I love, I mean, I would do it in a heartbeat." Blah blah blah. And it was like Agatha feeding him lines to talk to her to get her to open up because she was wanting to know more. But in actuality, it was the chance for the audience, us, to get revealed. Wanda now knows what she's doing. Now, you know what? When they finally showed Wanda when the creation of the hex, which I honestly didn't really care for that term, to be honest, but I'm gonna let it go. When they showed Wanda creation of the hex, I got it. I understood. I get it. Yes, if I had that kind of level of power, and I was grieving that hard forever. She lost her parents when she was a kid. She lost her brother. She lost Vision. And the Avengers are basically no more, and everything has just been upside down. She had to watch the person she actually fell in love, who saw her for her and loved her for herself. She had to, not only did she have to kill that person and come to terms with it, but the moment she did it and was in such grief, had to watch that person come back to life, only to be killed again. And then she gets snapped away. I know that time frame of the snap, there's like, you don't realize that time actually took place, but all of a sudden right after that she's like unsnapped and comes back, and then it's just like, where's my vision? Where's my vision? My vision is gone. Remember, it was 5 years. His body's not there anymore. They had his body. You know, she was suffering and she couldn't come to terms. I got it. I understand. That's fine. What I don't think is okay is that when she realized what she was doing, she knew that she was controlling their minds. She had them, they were sentient while they were locked in their own minds. Can you imagine not being able to say your own words? I mean, really, that one scene in the same episode where Vision is walking around and looking at all the sights, and you see that one lady sitting there doing that thing with the clothesline over and over again. She's over and over. She just does it like over and over. And then it zooms in. You see that slow tear like coming down her eye. That's when I was like, no, Wanda, that's not cool. This is not cool. all these people on the outskirts, they're all like on this like autopilot. Most of them are frozen because she can't control
Yeah,
everything.
it's like a computer. They were on
Yeah.
background processes. I could only imagine if your entire life was literally just doing minimal tasks. If you've ever seen Rick and Morty, it's like the episode where they're doing a simulation, and trying to trap Rick and Morty, and then Jerry is still there, and start give it they the further he goes out from where all the action is, the more obviously fake everything is. It's like the mailman just says the same phrase over and over again,
Yeah.
then glitches through a wall. Jerry being stupid, he doesn't notice, but it's that whole thing, but real people,
Yeah.
right?
The mailman
Imagine
in
if
this
your
one, like,
only
I'm
action was
exhausted.
something.
It's like,
Yeah,
he's been
Yeah.
delivering packages for
the
a
man.
week straight.
Yeah,
I mean, it could have been
Yeah.
much worse. Like, because
Yeah.
I saw this coming. Like Wanda, like losing the whole world that she created. Like me personally, I saw this coming like a mile away as soon as they hinted that there was something wrong going on.
Yeah.
Mostly just because like I know the storyline from the comics that they based on, and in the comics, she was way worse.
Yeah.
Like in the show, it was like this little town. In the comics, it was the entire Marvel universe.
Oh, really?
Everybody was stuck in like some fake world she created, and it was only like I think it was like in the comics, it was Wolverine, Luke Cage, and Hawkeye who managed to thwart them. And Shroud. They were the only ones who knew that there was something wrong going on, and they were able to break out of it. And the worst part in the comics is that Wanda actually erased everyone's memories of all the past events that happened prior to her altering the world. So, like, I always tell myself it could have been so much worse.
This is, I think, the second time Marvel has broached on the you're not in control of yourself kind of an aspect. Did either of you watch the Netflix series of Jessica Jones?
Yes.
I loved the first
Was it
season.
the Purple
It
Man?
was so good. Yep.
Yeah,
Or
Purple Man.
Yeah. Oh God, Doctor Who. David
God,
Tennant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Tennant. It was Tennant.
He was for those at home who don't know if you're watching this, I doubt you don't know. He can control your will, your actual will, not just what you say, but your will. You have no ability to really fight him if you're in a close enough proximity. The further away you are, it's kind of like a love spell almost in some respects, but it wears off the further away you are. But right up close, you have no control. Except Jessica was able to fight it. Is that right?
She was able to resist.
She had been under the spell for so long, she
Yeah.
gained resistance to it.
Okay, and it's
It's
like
like
he made her do some horrible stuff with his powers and her powers. It was anyway.
Yeah.
The
I can
concept
only
of control.
the concept of yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's that scene with Dottie showing up. It's like my little girl. I have a little girl. She'd make a good friend for your boys. Do you think? Is that a storyline that you might be interested in? You can you just please let her out of her room? I haven't seen her in a week. A week. Now I'm a father. If somebody kept me from my kid for a week, I would lose it. I felt that so just right there, and then there was the lady from the '70s show. I can't remember her name. She's always funny. She was in there, but she was like, if you won't let us free, would you just let us die? And I was like,
Yeah. And there was a moment when they said, "And when you let us sleep," which apparently was
when
very
you
rare.
let us sleep.
We get you when we get your nightmares.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I can only imagine of PTSD and trauma everyone in this town is going to
The
have.
whole town has
Just like
psychological
the
scarring.
whole town. Yeah. So she's definitely should be brought up, probably by the Hague. That's a war crime.
You're not gonna punish the
torture
Scarlet
for a
Witch.
week.
How are you gonna punish the Scarlet Witch? Really?
Clone Vision and keep killing him.
Didn't they do that? Haven't we done that? When we how many
Hey,
times,
I'm just saying.
how many times is Vision gonna die for you? How many times before you're happy? Look, Paul Bettany is a treasure.
No,
you need to get on board.
What they need to do is this is just
Paul Bettany, we love you.
Stupid. This is just a stupid joke. They already have Ranger, or White Vision. So they need to do Black
Did you
Vision,
say White Ranger?
Yellow Vision, Red. Yes, because it's Power Rangers. They need to get one for each Power Ranger, right?
Oh
Right.
God.
Then they get Pink Vision. They get Pink Vision. They get Red Vision, which is just normal vision. It's just normal vision. Then they get Yellow Vision. The whole lineup, and then morph into one giant Vision.
It should be a big old ball of Vision. Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear it.
Hey, you can't even argue that it's stupid because they crossed over Batman and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Okay, I'm on to something here. Disney, you can take this idea for free.
I want to talk about that in just a moment. Hold on. I want to hear what AJ's dying to say for like 5 minutes now.
It just reminded me of this drawing someone made. It's like how to like get back at Wanda for all she did, and someone came up with the idea. It's like a forum post where it's like someone made the question like, how do you punish Scarlet Witch? The second one says, make her play the Avengers arcade game with Vision in it and make it impossible to beat, and he will die all the time. And someone actually drew a picture of Scarlet Witch playing the arcade, and over you can hear the Vision scream going, no, no, no. And she's like, stop dying. I want to save him. I'm like, oh my God.
Okay.
My God, that's fantastic.
Wow. As on a side note, but because you mentioned it, did you know that, and you mentioned both of these and the connection, did you know that Batman exists in the same universe as the Power Rangers?
No.
I can prove it. I can prove it.
I know he's telling the truth.
I can prove. Okay, so Power Rangers in Space, episode 3 has the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They team up. The Power Rangers and the Ninja Turtles team up in this in like a 2-episode crossover. Not like multiverse, like another universe comes in. No, they're on Earth, New York, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And if you're going to tell me that Batman is with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, then I'm going to tell you that Batman is in the same universe as the Power Rangers.
Wasn't there there was a multiverse thing that brought the Turtles, right?
In the Power Rangers show that Power Rangers that I was talking about, I have to talk about with production. So Saban, who was making Power Rangers, there was also making a live-action Teenage Ninja Turtles show called I think it's called Next Mutation. I think it was.
Yeah,
called.
That was the one where they introduced the girl. Girl turtle.
Venus de Milo. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they basically like, hey, it's like we already have 2 shows at the same time. Let's do a crossover thing. And with the Batman Teenage Turtle, technically there are 2 versions of Batman in the Marvel universe. Like the Batman that we all know, Bruce Wayne. But there's also a character called, I think it's called Shadow Owl or Night Owl or something like that. And he's from the Squadron team, which is basically Marvel's Justice League. Like, in case they want to...
I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah, so, there was actually on the Marvel... Okay, the Avengers cartoon series had a couple of episode arc where they actually brought that in there. They were from another planet, and they were basically the evil Justice League on another planet, and they caused the destruction of their own planet. And the leader, I can't remember his name. It was like Owlman or something like that. But they had it's not Ultraman, but I'm sorry.
The team was called Crime Syndicate.
Yeah. Okay.
And Ultraman was the Superman of that group.
I think it was Ultraman, but I'm not. I can't remember if it was Ultraman or something like Ultraman. But
well, in Marvel, the Squadron Supreme, he's called Hyperion.
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, and he looks like a cross between Superman and Shazam, kind of slammed together a little bit, which is a lot of the same powers anyway. Like we can talk about that another time. We're getting way off topic, but just wipe it over. You mentioned Batman and the Ninja Turtles. I had to throw you on that one. I'm sorry. Little nerd history for everybody there. So we could talk comics forever.
It's important. It's important, bro.
It's context, and we're building context. Now, go ahead.
Speaking of comics, I mean, it's a comic. MCU, obviously, heavily based on the comics, and in the comics, and in the MCU, and in the DCEU, literally the big thing about when they released Justice League, and obviously what we saw a bit of with the ship abuse argument between visions. Nobody stays dead ever. Like, you can't die. You can, and then you just come back. Like, White Vision is just Vision who like went through the car wash, right? That's literally it.
Well, it was rebuilt.
Like, he has all the same memories. I know.
Yeah.
That the palette joke. Come on.
I know. No, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm
But
with you.
like the whole ship of Theseus argument. Like, White Vision is gonna go by White Vision for like 6 months. He's gonna be like, wait a minute.
The next time you see him,
I'm
he's
actually
gonna be-
Vision. And then he's
Yeah.
gonna touch himself on the forehead and go back to a red color, and it's like he never died.
I don't think he'll go back to a red color. I think he'll be slightly different the next time we see him. Go ahead.
That I think there's two reasons why they had like different color visions. One is like story wise, but also second is like production wise. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but I keep forgetting the actor who played Vision. Who was the
Paul
actor who
Bettany.
played Vision?
Paul Bettany. Was
Paul
it like
Bettany.
7 hours to get in costume?
Yeah.
You have no
God,
idea.
that's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
he had to sit in
It's
he had to sit in
ridiculous.
a steam sauna for an hour just to loosen it to get it off at the end of the day.
I cannot believe the stuff he has to go through just to be in that costume and do a couple of scenes
Right?
and then do that whole process all over again to take it off.
Right. Now, to their credit, you go from having like a movie level budget, right? And you're like you see Vision come out, and he looks incredible, absolutely incredible. The way that they did it, he looks like the perfect blend between humanoid and synthezoid. It's just like it looked like an android, humanoid android. It looked perfect. Then you come to a TV show and I was expecting lower grade budget, a little bit less of a appearance, but no, Marvel, they stepped it up. But Disney came out and just like, here's the money, make it look like the movies, only we're going to shorten the time run. I mean, they to their credit, they did a bang up job. It looked perfect.
They did a bang up job of limiting how much of exposure of full body Vision there was.
Yeah.
Because 80% of the time he was wearing the suit and tie, and the only saw that when he morphed back was his head and his fingers and hands. So I'm assuming that underneath the suit or whatever, they just had it up to like here was where the paint ended.
No, they did a full body every single time.
Yeah, but they did really, really well. The makeup artists on that, wow, perfect.
Yeah. Now, how long did it take you to appreciate the Jimmy Woo arc? Whenever you saw him again, I mean, come on.
The magic,
the
magic
card trick.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, I love this guy so much.
I you know what? I would watch Jimmy Woo show. You just give me like 5-6 episodes of Jimmy Woo doing his Jimmy Woo thing, and I just want that. Oh god, what's his name? Oh god, I can't remember the actor's name now. Hold on, it's right here. Randall Park. That's it. I couldn't remember his name.
Randall Park. Yeah.
Randall Park. Marvel, give us more Randall, please. From seeing him in the Ant-Man and the Wasp when he came out and he was talking to Paul, and he was doing the close-up thing, and you see him later on. He's like trying to do the close-up, and he's like
online magic school.
Yeah.
All school is funny, dude.
He's like, no, I'm not playing with my cards. What are you talking about? No.
What are you talking about?
But it was so funny. Then you see him
And
like,
then he
Jimmy Woo.
used it. And then
Yeah.
he used it to get out of handcuffs. That
Yeah.
boggled my mind. I was like, this is
the
perfect.
whole arc coming around, and it met right there.
Yeah.
And by the way,
full circle.
I didn't even look it up, but I looked up some things for WandaVision, and I got recommended in my feed, in my YouTube feed, how to actually do the card flip trick, and I'm gonna practice it. I'm gonna learn it. I'm gonna learn how to do it. It's like it's all in the way that you like hold your cards or something like that. It's how he actually teaches you how to like fold it over and hold it behind your hand, and it's there, and then it's I watched the video one time. I haven't actually practiced, but I thought the arc of it I thought was really kind of cool.
Oh no, like
you need to show us your progress on each real nerdy.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna.
You were saying,
I'm just gonna do.
I was gonna add in like all the effects you see in the Marvel shows and movies. You could totally do that on your own now with like various softwares and whatnot. And I think a lot of the people over at Marvel, they did that on purpose, just so that other people can keep the movies and shows like alive. Like, hey, I just did the effect from Doctor Strange. Like I did the portal thing. There's plenty of tutorials on how to do stuff like that. Which I think if that is the case with Marvel, I gotta say that's a pretty smart move on their part.
Well, I found a random YouTuber. It just popped up in my feed when the other day. It was him talking about Jimmy Woo doing the card trick and how he's the guy who did the YouTube channel. He's an actual musician, but I got to give him credit. He capitalized at the right time, and it was just the way that it popped up all of a sudden in my feed. And I was like, okay, I'll watch this. This is kind of cool. And the way he went into it, it was actually pretty cool. I'll send you guys a link if you're actually half interested. But if they would give me. You can give me all the Jimmy Woo you want, but for the love of God, can I stop having to endure Darcy? I know probably that's controversial, but I can't stand her character. It wasn't so bad for a couple of times there, but honestly, I mean, I'm probably in the minority.
I like
here.
Darcy.
Yeah.
I like Darcy's character. It's a good foil for the other super serious, oh, I'm a super spy agent kind of vibe. She's literally just a nuclear scientist or programmer. Like, I mean, she's not. The fact that's what she is, right?
No, she's lying.
Yeah, if I remember, she's from Thor 2 and Thor 1. And she turn for the group, but she does have some scientific.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, it's been.
I have a theory on this.
8 years since then, right? Did she get snapped? Did we ever talk about it?
It hasn't been. It hasn't been that long.
Since Thor 1. Since Thor 1 up until now,
1, she was a college student and she was an intern for Jane Foster, and then in Thor 2 she was an intern for Jane Foster, and she was trying to get Jane back into doing her science stuff, but every time they showed her, it was just cringe. Every time she talked, she would say some funny lines here and there, but you know what? They can have anybody do that, and they're a little less screen time. I didn't mind her as much because it wasn't so in your face stupidity. Like the intern having an intern, come on. I mean, it was funny for like a minute, but the guy who was her intern was smarter than she was. Anyway, I'm not a fan. I can be a minority on this one. I don't mind.
I think my problem with it is because they just didn't give her enough to do a lot. Not in WandaVision, but like in the Thor movies. Like to me, she was just kind of there. She didn't really do much other than like tase Thor, and that was like funny for a bit.
True, and then like drool on him because he's muscular and handsome. Yeah, I mean,
Right. They didn't give her both the character and the actress much to work with. So I think it's more the fault of the writers than
probably.
anything else. But like Jimmy like definitely is like a well, made supporting character. Like even in Ant-Man, he was very active. He did a
Yeah,
lot of things.
but it's
I'm
also in
now
the delivery.
Yeah, I'm also now expecting him to be like uh ironically another Marvel movie. Character Zed from Men in Black, the leader of the
Yeah,
MIB, and he's just like so accustomed to all the wacky stuff that goes on. There's like that one scene where Will Smith like knocks some like alien ball that goes around,
yeah,
and Zed just like on his computer he just dodges it like
yeah.
casually or whatever. I can see Jimmy eventually being in the Marvel universe. Like there's an alien invasion going on in the back of his office. He's just like pulling up his files, does whatever, and like an alien beam is about to shoot him, and he just dodges right at the
Yeah,
last minute,
and
just
he's
so
just sitting there, just
casual.
typing away on his laptop. You see, he's like playing with his card tricks, and it's like, I would actually. Here's a little cross for you, real quick. But I have a theory before I go into it. Since we're talking about Darcy for a second, I have a small theory, and if I'm right about this, I haven't heard anybody else mention this theory, so this is completely one of my very own. Um, at the very end, the very last episode, Darcy only has like one scene and one line, and then she's gone. And then at the end, whenever Monica is asking Jimmy like what happened to Darcy, she said debriefs are for wimps, and then she left out. It's like she was noticeably absent, right? Well, my thinking is that it wasn't Darcy. It wasn't actually our Darcy the whole time. I think it was a Skrull, and I think it was the Skrull who showed up at the end, who took Monica into the theater to tell her, "I was sent by a friend of your mother's, and they want to talk to you." And I think it was her posing as Darcy the entire time. That now I think she was a Skrull, and then she
I don't
switched
know
to the
about
other
that.
person so that she could get her to go to the other area. Which by
I
the way, I think that
uh,
same person was supposed to be the daughter of the Talos guy, the one where remember when in the Captain Marvel movie he had a daughter
mhm.
around the same age as Monica.
I I don't think that she's a scroll, but it's been confirmed, and I'll send the link that she was meant to have like a much bigger scene or much bigger
Oh
scenes
yeah.
in the series that got changed due to COVID. She was
Oh
she
okay.
wasn't she was meant to have more than just the one scene in the last episode. She was supposed to have multiple
Or was
scenes
she?
while she was in the. No, they confirmed it. They just openly confirmed it.
Or did
I,
they?
I'm I'm not theory crafting. A theory craft of a fact. All right. There's
what
only so many layers you can
What are you
take me
trying to
down
say,
fire.
AJ?
Oh no, I was gonna ask like, wait, did they establish the scroll? I'm like, well, wait, well, and I just memorized. I just remember like, oh yeah, yes they did. They had her. They had the scroll in Captain Marvel. I'm like, I just had a
They
brain.
Well,
also
Like,
yeah, it
they
was
also
like the
had
whole
Nick Fury. They also had Nick Fury being a scroll in Spider-Man Far From Home. That
yeah,
yeah,
was so funny to me. He was like, "What should we call him? We fucked everything up. Should we call him?"
yeah.
And then they did. He's
But
like,
well,
"I'm
yeah,
on
and I
vacation, y'all."
I
I
just had a
am
brain.
so looking forward to the Secret Invasion when they have the guy who played Talos and the guy and Nick Fury, and they're doing the buddy cop thing again, and it's like it's a whole show with Sam Jackson, and I can't remember his name, um who played the character, but the Skrull guy, but it's I really am looking forward to that. Now, this is being a bit of a long episode, so we're just gonna move along real quick. So I loved WandaVision. I think the ending could have been a little bit better, just in my personal opinion, but I loved what they did. I loved how they structured it. I loved the story arc, the theorizing. It's so much fun. This isn't the last we're gonna see of Wanda. Of course, she's coming back into the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2. But we have 1 week off this week now that we're filming this, and then the following week is a big week. We have the introduction of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Finally. Will we find out which one gets the shield? Who do you want to get the shield? AJ, go first.
I would say I'm kind of biased. I'll be straight up because Captain America: First Avenger is my favorite Marvel movie out of all. That's including.
Wow, that's a big statement.
Captain America better. I think it's better than Endgame. That's my opinion. So I personally think that Bucky, aka Winter Soldier, he's the one. I think.
You think he deserves the mantle?
I think he does, mostly because that's for two reasons. One, he fought with Captain America originally. He knew him longest. He knew who he was even before Captain. He knew him as Steve, Wimpy Steve, before he became.
They were best friends. They were
And I feel like that's a connection they have. The second reason is because that for Falcon, I know Falcon is. He's his own, but I feel like Falcon should be his own character, not Captain America 2.0, so to speak. And in the comics, Bucky was Captain America's sidekick for a long while, and eventually, when Steve Rogers, he didn't die, but when he was incapacitated, Bucky was the one he put his trust in most to be like, hey, if I'm knocked out, you're the next Captain America. But that's my opinion here.
Well, I can see your point on that one. What do you think? What do you think, Crunchy? Who do you want to see get the shield?
Definitely Falcon. I have to, as somebody who's not super into the comics, blasphemy in the comments. I really don't care at this point. It's not like I know how to read anyways. Anyways, not super into the comics. Seen on, and the MCU being its own distinctive universe separate from the comics themselves, what we've seen on camera of the Winter Soldier and of the Falcon, two completely different ideals that they both try to strive for, right? You have the Falcon, who is pretty much a soldier by the book, right? And then you have the Winter Soldier, who has gone through hell multiple times. I wouldn't want to put somebody that's already been through that in a position where they have to go through more of it, right? Yeah. Like I would want some fresh blood to be able to take the shield and be like, I can be the standard. I can have this guy be the standard for what this needs to be what America or what the world needs as the new Captain America. And I mean, the Winter Soldier is kind of tainted. I mean, he's not even. He has the same problem as Steve Rogers did. He has the same problem as Steve Rogers did. He's not from this time period. Right. There's no way that Captain America intentionally snubbed his friend, his best friend. There's no way he intentionally did that.
No.
He probably went, my friend has suffered and he's not. This isn't what he should be doing. I don't want to volunteer him for such a big role. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders. I think I should give it all to some new blood. And that's why I think the Winter Soldier's there in the first place, to help the Falcon learn how to be Captain America, because he's the person that has the most experience of dealing with a Captain America. It's the old veteran teaches the young blood how to be better.
Well, I have a similar yet different opinion from both of you. I don't think how to put it. I think the person who gets the shield already has the shield. I honestly, end of Endgame. Did he give the shield to Bucky? No, he did not. Who did he give the shield to? He gave it to Sam. He gave it to the Falcon. Why did he give it to Falcon? I have a theory. There's a little line that at the very end of the movie, whenever Steve's about to go back through the portal and he's going to return all the things, and you have this little moment between Bucky and him, right? And it's a little unspoken moment that you don't know, that like you can't hear, and then it's like you go back and you watch it again with this in your mind, you might see it. Bucky knew exactly what he was doing when he said, "How can I? You're taking all this stupid with you." He was saying goodbye to his lifelong friend. He knew exactly what Steve's intentions were. Steve wanted to go, and he wanted to spend his years with his love, Peggy, who he lost. He lost that chance. This is his chance to have that chance. He's giving up once and for all Captain America because his fight is over. He's ready to put down that shield. And he talked it over with his best friend for life, the one he pulled from the brink of destruction, his best friend Bucky. And his best friend Bucky turned down the shield. I wholeheartedly believe that Bucky doesn't actually want the shield. That he let Sam... Steve most likely gave Falcon the shield on purpose after talking to Bucky. Now, the commercials we're seeing are going to play up the whole who does it, who gets it, because, you know, that's intrigue. Makes you want to watch and find out. Ask the very question I just asked. But also, what's it do? It creates entertainment, because what did you love so much about Civil War with Bucky and Falcon? Their little back and forth, the two best friends fighting over who gets to be the best of the best friends. Well, with Captain, you know, it's like they love hate each other, but you see there's a whole bro thing going on also. There's several key things that I saw in the trailer that makes me believe more and more in my theory that Sam, as you said, that Bucky wants to teach Sam how to do what he needs to done. But then there's the whole clashing back and forth, you know, about their broness getting in the way, like the staring contest and stuff like that at the end of the trailer, which was hilarious. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yep.
I mean, that's one of the greatest things about this stuff. Until it shows up, we don't know.
I think it's most likely that we're going to see both of them, even though like one character is more likely to have the shield more. I still think like Marvel's they're not going to be stupid enough to give one character the full attention. I think like they're probably going to have moments where Bucky uses the shield or Falcon uses the shield. You know, it's kind of like how Captain America was able to use both his shield and Thor's hammer in Endgame.
Yeah. So
I'm expecting like some kind of like back and forth of some kind, just so that they both have equal screen time and equal, you know, like a chance to shine, so to speak. That's what I think is going to happen most likely.
Yeah. Well, we don't know.
Personally, I think the robot arm is pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, but I wouldn't want to lose my arm.
That's it.
I mean,
I don't know, man. If it wasn't my primary hand.
Don't forget that arm can also act on its own, because who was it in the movies? Was it Hydra who gave Winter Soldier that arm?
Well, he has a new arm now.
He has
that
he
got
one
from
made of
Black
vibranium
Panther.
that Black Panther gave.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember like there was like some kind of like, I think like in the...
It was Hydra that made the arm for him, but they put the star on it because they basically, at the time, because the Nazis basically had lost, they went over to Russia because of the whole back and forth and everything. But that's why he's the Winter Soldier. They basically sold him to Russia.
I think it was also, I think like if this is like another theory I had when like Winter Soldier came out, like I theorized that like the reason why he had a metal arm, not only because he lost his arm, but it was like also like a failsafe for whoever's in control of Winter Soldier, that if he refuses, like, I'm not pressing this button that launches a nuclear missile, right, or something like that,
right,
whoever's in control, like, all right, fine, we'll take control of your arm, beep,
right,
done. Or like, oh, I'm not listening to you, it's like, okay, like knock himself out or something like that, some kind of like failsafe to like make him do something that whoever's in control.
Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
I figured like something like that in case.
Well,
That was definitely a picture somebody made when people theorized about that. But yeah,
I'm very
like
much looking forward to be proven wrong either way. I am very much looking forward to um, to seeing all the things and theorizing and talking about it, and that's what we're gonna do going forward. That because this show is every 2 weeks, we're going to be off next week, but next week is the the fabled, thought it never could happen. It's finally happening. It really is a thing. The Schneider Cut is coming out.
Ooh.
For everyone out there who has HBO Max, and if you don't have HBO Max,
like me.
I
I already got
do.
to see it, you guys, because I wanted to watch Tom and Jerry.
You haven't seen it. It's not out yet because I have it and it's not out yet.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Well, no. Well, no. Tom and Jerry. As somebody put the Tom and Jerry thing, and when you clicked on it, it would show the first 2 hours of the Snyder Cut. That actually happened. I'm not making this up. Some stupid intern did that.
That's
When
funny.
you would go on HBO Max to watch the new Tom and Jerry movie, it would play the first 2 hours of the Snyder Cut,
Wow.
and it got taken down after 6 hours.
6 hours? I guarantee it's
I,
online. I guarantee it's online.
Disclaimer:
To
I
download.
haven't actually seen it, but it happened.
So
Well, it was only the first 2 hours, and the whole Snyder Cut is like 4.5.
yeah, which I would be glad to sit down and watch that in a day. So next time, our next episode, we are going to be discussing the first of the Snyder Cut, and we're going to let the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We're going to come back on the following episode, and we're going to discuss the first 3 episodes as a whole. Now, we don't know how many episodes there are going to be. For right now, we only have confirmed of 6 episodes. It's only confirmed for 6 episodes so far. WandaVision gave us 9, and The Mandalorian gave us 8. So there's nothing confirmed.
8 in the first season and 8 in the first season, 10 in the second, if I'm
And there was 10?
remembering correctly.
I don't remember, but
Yeah.
Disney is Disney is nothing if they're not unpredictable. But before we wrap this up, I just want to say that we have a lot in store for everyone. We have plenty to cover going forward. This channel, this show, we are going to be covering more of the more up to date kind of stuff. We're going to do less of the old stuff, but just for those who are keeping track and for those who aren't, we are going to be covering each and every one of the 10 Marvel releases from this year. We will cover all 10 of them, not necessarily when they come out, because we want to talk spoilers and we want to talk freely. So we won't do it the week of. So when we do it, it'll be completely spoilers. Now, we already had WandaVision. That was number 1. Up next, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Followed by a May release, thank God, finally, Black Widow. She deserves it. Go see her. Put on a mask, put on 2 masks, put on some gloves, wash your hands. Go watch the Black Widow in theaters. She deserves it.
What's a theater?
I
They
don't
sound like
remember.
they sound like a relic of a bygone age.
I don't know.
Sorry,
Just find it. Just go buy a ticket and then don't go see it. I don't care. Go buy a ticket, then go download it. She deserves. Look, that movie deserves to be seen. Okay. That's number 3. Then we have Loki. And I know everybody looking forward to some Loki. Who doesn't want to see some Tom Hiddleston?
Oh, yes, sir.
I mean, come on. July, Shang-Chi. Hold on. Shang-Chi, I always pronounce this wrong, and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Will we finally get to see the true Mandarin? I hope so. November, Eternals. I don't know that much about the Eternals. Spider-Man 3, which by the way has a title. No Way Home. Coming out in December. And later in 2021, undetermined for the time frame, is Hawkeye. We also have Ms. Marvel. We also have Doctor Strange Into the Mouth of Madness. Let's see. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Doctor Strange into the Mouth of Madness is actually going to be March of next year. I apologize. I went too far. So you have Ms. Marvel, you have Hawkeye, you have Spider-Man 3, you have the Eternals, you have Shang-Chi, you have Loki, Black Widow, Falcon, and you have Wanda. And don't forget about the Marvels What If. There's another one. I can't remember what it
What
was,
if what?
though.
Yes.
Yeah, ha, 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 ha. What if what? You don't know? Do you not honestly not know? It's Marvel's. It's like the alternate. It's like
America
the
or
alternate.
Captain Britain. Yeah.
It's not. It's
It's-
Captain Britain. Yeah.
It's Star Lord. If he's there, that's gonna be sick.
What is
I just
that
want to see
other
that.
one?
That's gonna be so cool. Oh
There's
man.
another one. There was another one coming out this year, and I can't remember. I don't remember. There's like 9 or 10 of them coming out this year. But anyway,
All the series we talked about, and then that one. You guys know the one. You know, you know that one.
no. I think I named all 10 of them, but I because we started going sideways, I lost track. Doesn't matter. Listen, we got plenty to coming up. We're gonna come in. We're gonna talk some Marvel, talk some DC. We're gonna have some fun. If you have something you want to see us discuss, put it in the comments. Come and visit us on our Discord. All this is going to be linked in the description. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, throw us a thumbs up. If you have some controversy about if you don't like my theory, give me a thumbs down. I don't care. You don't have to like my theory. But then again, I don't have to like yours either. Remember to comment and subscribe, everybody. We look forward to sharing with you more of our fun topics and theories. And thanks you guys for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. This is going to be it for this episode. Keep it nerdy.